Welcome to Live Well with Juniper. I'm your host, Rachel Bremness. Juniper is a program of Trellis and all about optimizing health as we age. Here we talk about all things wellness and aging in Minnesota. Each week, I'll have guests join me to share wellness expertise, resources, and Juniper behind-the-scenes info with you. Joining me today is Jessica Karpinske. Jessica is a certified instructor with 8 years of experience leading Tai Ji Quan Moving for Better Balance classes. Jessica is passionate about helping older adults improve balance, strength, and confidence through mindful movement. Her approach emphasizes safety, accessibility, and creating a welcoming environment where everyone can thrive. With advanced training and a deep commitment to wellness, Jessica brings both expertise and encouragement to every class. Welcome, Jessica.
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks for having me here today.
We are so glad to have you here. Could you start off just by telling us a little bit about yourself? It could be where you grew up, where you went to school, what led you to where you are today.
Sure. I grew up in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and from there moved to St. Cloud, where I got my degree in social work. And after college, I moved to Duluth, where I live today. I got interested, so when I was at my social work job at Lake Superior Community Health Center for many years, I was working with people in the capacity of trying to find exercise that was accessible for a lot of different groups of people. And the Tai Ji Quan Moving for Better Balance training came across my plate one day, and I decided to take that training. So that's how I ended up here. And all these years later, I'm still teaching the class.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, I love Duluth. It's beautiful, beautiful city. And I didn't know you had a social work background because I have one too. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I can see that it makes a lot of sense now, just knowing you and your teaching style and your passion for your work, how you would have that background. So that's wonderful. So there's many versions of Tai Chi out there, as you know. What led you to become, like, why Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance in particular? Is it just because the training came up and it aligned with your work and something that would work out well?
Yes. I have no other background experience in Tai Chi, and this training came up, and the people that I was working with and hoping to use this with at the time were people who a lot of times couldn't get up and down off the floor, or even like doing a yoga practice might have been too intense. But I knew that people needed some sort of exercise plan or movement program, and this was accessible to most people.
Yes.
And in a variety of ways, I guess, because it is such an accessible program that can be done from seated or standing and all of that. So that's how I landed on Tai Ji Chuan Moving for Better Balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense, because I know you've been practicing yoga and been a yoga instructor for some time as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Okay. And that's one of the nice things about evidence-based classes like Tai Chi is I always say they come in these neat little packages where you don't need to have prior experience with Tai Chi in particular. If you have prior experience as a group fitness instructor like yoga, that's immensely helpful. And then the training teaches you everything you need to know about teaching the program itself.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah. So in your words, what is Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance?
Well, it's a program that helps people with strength, balance, coordination, and really continuing to use their body and stay independent in their homes. So I guess that's more of like the reason for it. But it's a gentle movement practice that's very accessible to most people, and using I also think of it as like a modified Tai Chi program, because there's only 8 forms in this practice, so a little bit different than some of the other practices that have many more forms. So
True, very true. Are there any other aspects of Tai Chi Chuan moving for better balance that are different from other Tai Chi classes people might take?
Yeah, I believe a lot of the other practices are very fluid movements, where this focuses on going from stability to periods of instability. So we create that ourselves and create those moments of instability in order to train the nervous system and our muscles and everything to adapt and respond to different situations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's a little bit different in that way, where you might find some of the movements are a little bit jerky per se.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so not totally, but a little bit jerky or like off
Mm-hmm.
balance in order to come back to those positions of balance.
Well, and on purpose, and that makes a lot of sense because as a person who's fallen recently, I will admit, and reflecting on that, the you don't have a lot of time in that moment when you lose your balance to think about what am I going to do. You're just reacting. It's
Right.
muscle memory reacting. So this class is training people and their muscle memory for how to move from instability back to stability again. So to be more prepared for those moments where they might lose their balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. In addition to the 8 forms that we teach as well, there's a lot of mini therapeutic movements in there
Mm-hmm.
where we are focusing on those specific movements that are training you to move from instability to back to stability in situations that might occur in everyday life.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like one of
Mm-hmm.
them is like almost like if you were gonna like trip on a crack in the sidewalk,
Oh,
or
yep.
if you're on the airport shuttle, and
Yep.
you think about like you're a little bit unstable and then they hit the brakes and you might
Sure.
like kind of lose your balance. But we actually do an exercise that somewhat simulates that sort of movement and
Mm-hmm.
helps to train us in slow motion in a safe place um, to respond if that should happen in real life.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That makes so much sense. What do you enjoy the most about teaching these classes?
I think the thing that I enjoy most about teaching the classes is hearing how the participants use the practice in everyday life. Like
Okay.
hearing how it translates into their everyday life for them to um, get up from a chair without using their hands,
Oh,
or
yep.
be more stable when they're out doing yard work or gardening,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Or if somebody says, I had a fall the other day, but I knew how to fall. So
Mm-hmm.
it saved them from having an injury from that fall.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that part of it.
Yeah.
I personally love the practice and the movements as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it never gets
Yes.
old. It's really relaxing.
Yes.
And I love that it trains our bodies in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like bigger movements, like doing squats or something like that, where you're working
Mm-hmm.
with the bigger muscles, that's such a different type of movement. But with the Tai Chi practice, you're training like all the little muscles, the stabilizer muscles around those bigger muscles. So it really creates, I feel like, more stability and better
Yeah,
balance in that
absolutely.
sense.
Yeah, so it's a good complement too to any other fitness program that people might be doing because then you're working different muscle groups
Right.
as well. Yes, and I remember I've done this program myself. I was several years ago, but I have done it myself and I remember one of the things I enjoyed about it was it felt like moving mindfulness because I had to be so focused on what I was doing in that moment. If
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking about, oh, after class today, I have to remember to throw in that load of laundry and I need to call my mom and I need to pick up a half a gallon of milk from the store on my way home. All of a sudden, I'd be moving right and everyone else is moving left. And I'm all turned
Yep.
around and running into people. Um, and so it's kind of a nice break to or moving meditation for people who have a hard time just sitting still and trying to still their thoughts in that way.
Yeah. Yep. I always remind the class that it is a sort of moving meditation, and that the meditation is just noticing when your thoughts go off somewhere else and then gently bringing yourself back to the moment. So, and encouraging people though to laugh at themselves when that happens, because
Yes.
it happens to all of us, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Why, where are we? People might still be on like form number 2 and we're on number 3, so just to laugh at themselves.
Yes.
And then just come back whenever they notice.
We're all human, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you've mentioned that there are 8 forms and many therapeutic movements in the class. Could you share a little bit more about the structure of the class? How do people learn the forms? Do they learn them all at once, or the class is spread out over 24 sessions? So do they learn it little by little?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, typically the class is taught twice a week over 12 weeks.
Okay.
And the class starts with a very like foundational practice. So very gentle, like weight shifting and some of the more foundational movements that lead into the rest of the forms. So in the first like month, we're learning forms 1 and 2.
Okay.
So I know other Tai Chi practices that people have said they've gone to classes for, say they just walk in and they're just thrown into it, where you just like learn by assimilation, because you're just going into an ongoing class that's maybe been meeting for, the last year or however long.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is very different, where it's structured in a way that you learn the foundational movements and then we add on to that. So earlier movements are more simple. We get those, we add some more and keep going from there. So we're not learning form 8 until like week 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for people to know too, because if they're used to other forms of Tai Chi, the class could feel a little slow to them, but it's slow on purpose because you're trying to learn little by little and focus on moving from stability to an unstable position back to stability safely. And that's the emphasis, rather than learning all these forms as soon as possible.
Right. And it's a very non-intimidating way to come into it, because if you have no practice in or experience in doing Tai Chi before, and all the movements are very different and new to you, which they are if you don't have any other experience
Absolutely.
in this, that it goes at a pace where you can pick up the movement and you can learn it, even though there's no expectation that you'd have it memorized or anything like that.
Of course.
But it is taught in a way that people can learn the movement and feel comfortable moving on to the next thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any misconceptions that people have about Tai Chi or Tai Chi Chuan moving for better balance as an instructor that you've encountered? Anything that coming in, they're like, oh, I think it'll be like this, and it's just not quite that way.
I think people in general don't realize how slow the practice is.
Sure.
Not just like slow to get going because we're learning foundational movements before the class picks up a little bit as we get into it, but the practice is very slow. Like everything else in life goes quickly, right? We have to like do more and go and like move quicker through everything. And this is a time to slow down and to breathe and to pay attention to how your body is moving. And for some people, it's too slow. Yeah. So, and for some, it really resonates. It's just, it's different for everyone. But I would say that's maybe one of the misconceptions or the things that people aren't really sure about coming into it.
Yeah. So, I would think for myself taking the class, I would almost need to go into it thinking this is a class to train my balance. This is not a class for cardio health. For example, I'm going to want to do something else for cardio health.
Yeah.
This is really going to help me with balance and with improving strength and really small muscles that I have in my body. So it's a complement to other things I might be doing if I want a more rigorous workout. But I might also just want to focus on my balance and be really intentional about improving my stability.
Right.
And the class helps in that regard. I think I do know just from working with Juniper that the research for this program has shown that if people take 2 classes, So we would call that beginner Tai Chi and advanced Tai Chi.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're mostly talking about beginner Tai Chi, and we'll get to advanced another day.
Yeah.
That they will see, the original research shows a reduction of falls about 58%
Wow.
for the general population and 67% for people living with Parkinson's disease,
Wow.
which is remarkable.
That is.
I think, as far as bang for your buck. And now, knowing those statistics and talking to family members, have I, as a daughter or niece, been able to convince anyone? No, I have not. But hopefully we can convince some people who are listening today
Yeah.
to benefit from this great class.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's like, yeah, referring your parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles, and yep.
And I get it. Yeah.
Yep. But my mom takes classes with
Oh,
me.
wonderful.
Yeah, she's been taking classes with me for a few years and always comments how the practice really helps her when she's out doing her gardening and things.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have her teach.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know if she'd be up for that.
It's not everyone's jam.
No.
And that's okay. It takes a special skill to teach.
Yes.
And I'm glad that she's been enjoying the classes up till now, though.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So I know, like, how do people take these classes? We do have some in-person classes, but you teach predominantly online. So can you talk a little bit about the online experience and how you go about teaching to ensure understanding and that people are in adapting movements as needed for, as you mentioned before, people can do the exercises seated if they need to. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been teaching online for the last about 5 years now, which seems crazy to think it's been that long because we just taught in person before. But yeah, I just really focus on explaining things well and making sure to add in little tidbits and cues for people as we go along so that they know they can practice from seated or with the assistance of their chairs. Also, that the forms don't need to be perfect, that it's just about having an experience in your body. So as opposed to really critiquing people's Tai Chi movements, just recognizing like we all move different and every day is different too. I think people appreciate that because they feel like it's a very non-intimidating way to practice, that they can just like be themselves and be in their bodies.
Yeah.
I also like to take breaks throughout class and see if anybody has questions, because teaching online is, of course, different than teaching in person, where sometimes little parts of the movements aren't as easy to see if I have my toes lifted or
certainly,
just different dimensions of the movement that would be really apparent if you were in person. Don't always come out like that online, but usually people can ask the question and they're like, okay, that makes sense now, so we just continue to go over things maybe a few more times than if you were in person. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And then pausing is a fabulous idea as well. And then do people kind of choose whether they're going to sit for an exercise if they need to, for movement if they need to, or do you coach people on when to sit and when to stand, or is it maybe it's both? Are there seated exercises that everyone does?
Yeah, a little bit of all of that. So in the beginner class, we go through different variations of the movement. So there's the standing version. There's a chair assisted version where we stand behind the chair and use the assistance for the back of the chair. So you always have one hand on the chair for extra stability. We also do a seated version. So if people need to do that, we go through all of those variations. And I just let people know on any given day, if you need to use one of these variations, feel free to do that, that it's their practice and to do what feels best in their body, because sometimes people, have a balance issue for the day or have an injury or illness or whatever. But I just encourage people to always come and still be there and practice if at all possible. So, and then there are exercises that we all do from seated. And as we go through the 12 weeks of the course, sometimes we'll do our forms just from standing, or sometimes we'll do all the forms from seated. So it does mix it up quite a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that variety is nice too, because then again, you're working different muscles
Right.
throughout the course of the program. Um, and it keeps it fresh as
Right.
well. Keeps your brain working, which it's already working because you're
Yeah.
learning something new. So all these brand new neural pathways are being formed, but then
Right.
it just builds on that by having variety within the exercises itself. So with the class being online, do people need special equipment to participate?
What they mostly need is a chair without wheels and
Mm-hmm.
without arms, preferably.
Mm-hmm.
So really like a kitchen chair, a folding chair,
Sure.
something like that would work just fine.
No desk chairs though. No wheels.
No wheels, no wheels.
We don't want wandering chairs.
Right. Um, they would of course need their computer and just a place
Mhm.
to set that up so they can see me well.
Mhm.
They need a little bit of space to move through. So maybe 6 to 8 feet of space, but not a lot of width. So it's kind of a
Sure.
more narrow space is just fine. I actually teach some of my Tai Chi classes from home.
Mhm.
So I don't have a ton of space there, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then people just kind of make it work.
Mhm.
Like they can always back up and
Oh, sure.
gain more space as needed.
Yes.
Otherwise, they don't really need any special equipment. It's mostly just a chair.
Okay.
And then, depending if they want to wear shoes or not, shoes, not flip flops or high heels.
Yes. Yeah.
Just
Some sort of a sneaker situation.
right, right, right.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good to know too, because sometimes you need to have weights or stretch bands, but this is Tai Chi. So it's different and you're focused on Tai Chi forms and many therapeutic movements. So that not needing equipment certainly, I would imagine, helps with the accessibility
yeah,
component to the class.
yep, yeah. You don't need any weights or anything like that. You don't need a mat, like a yoga
Oh,
mat or
good
anything
call.
like
Yep.
that. Yep.
That's a good thing to mention.
Yeah.
Yes. And what are like how often should someone attend in order to see the benefits? Like what do you see in your participants? The ones that are telling you I'm able to get out of a chair without using my hands, or I'm having an easier time gardening. How often do you see them attending class?
Yeah, I would say, the recommended amount is twice a week for 12 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
or longer. I have plenty of people who have been
Yeah.
practicing with me for years. So yeah, but that twice a week over the 12 weeks, I know is part of the evidence-based model
Mm-hmm.
that this program is designed around. That's been proven to really give people good results.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if people can't attend all of the classes, but they want to sign up for the class, they could still sign up and do as much as they can.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So if they can only they have a planned family vacation or
Yeah.
something like that, or if they have a appointment that conflicts with a class session.
Yep.
That's absolutely fine. Okay.
Yeah. Life happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all need to be able to go on vacation and get sick and have doctor's appointments.
Right.
All
of the
stuff.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. Life happens.
Yeah. I would say in the first 12 weeks of the class, because we do build one form on top of the other over the 12 weeks. The more people can attend, the better, but certainly there is some leniency for missing a few classes here and there and still able to pick up the next movement and, be just fine with it. In the advanced class or the second 12 weeks of the class, it's a lot easier if you're gone for a little bit, or if you can only attend once a week or, something like that. It's a little bit easier because you're not learning new forms.
Sure.
Yeah. You're still learning new things, but you're not learning new forms after the 8.
Yes.
So it's a little bit easier for those folks to come and go.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense too. And they probably have all 8 forms memorized by that point as well.
Maybe.
Maybe. No pressure to.
Right.
I think people don't give themselves enough credit though.
Yeah.
I think they know more than they give themselves credit for as far as the having the forms memorized.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not an expectation.
No. I mean, it is an interesting thing because even if your brain doesn't think it remembers the forms, it gets, it gets in your muscle memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like your body will probably carry on doing the forms, even if your head is in a different space after a while.
It sounds like when you're learning a new language and you start dreaming in that language.
Right.
And that's how you know you're fluent.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know you're fluent in Tai Chi. Your brain is elsewhere, but you're still doing the forms.
Right.
Because your body remembers.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jessica, could you describe the atmosphere in a typical class? Like, what can people expect from the others in the group? Do people make a lot of connections and friends or um, anything in that regard? Like, what can they expect coming in as far as the vibe of the class?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, actually, since I teach online, it's a little bit different, but
Mhm.
I always start my Zoom meeting 15 minutes ahead of time. And people really like to join early so they can get in on the chit chat.
Oh, sure. Get in on the chit chat. I like that.
So they all really like to visit with each other. And, and they'll notice, oh, so and so's not been here for a week, or, where are they? Or, how about the weather today? Or, so it's like, it's interesting because even in my online class, people have really made a lot of connections and they enjoy that aspect of it. I would say it's the similar thing in person as well. It's just very relaxed and, everybody's just there to take a class and to have some social connection and which is really nice. I mean, especially online, I think, because maybe people are in their homes a little bit more, especially in the winter months.
Oh, yep, definitely.
And they're still getting a bit of socialization and probably with people they wouldn't normally run across.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the fun thing I think about online classes is you have people from all over the state of Minnesota, sometimes outside the state of Minnesota too,
Yep.
Who have a similar interest and they come together on this platform in this class to learn about how to improve their balance and to participate in something that will help them reduce their risk of falls. And they have more in common than they realize.
Right.
Just from that simple fact.
Yep.
But yes, get to talk about weather and in Minnesota, we have snowstorms and it impacts different parts of the state differently. And we always like to compare.
Right. And then it's always fun to see like people's animals coming.
Oh, yes.
For Tai Chi class.
Cameos.
Yeah. They're all like getting ready to get their Tai Chi treats before class. And so they behave so their parents can do the class.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. Like bribing your cat or dog to
just
I need an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Do you have any advice for someone who feels nervous about trying Tai Chi for the first time?
Yeah, I would say just to come and try it because it's such a different practice than most other movement programs. So come and try a few classes. And if you like it and it resonates, then you'll stick with it. And if it doesn't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's something people really need to try, but to know that it's a very accessible program to most people. So if you're feeling like you don't know if you can do all the movements or you have a knee injury or whatever it is, like you can come and try it and you can always do what you can as well. There's lots of adaptations and things and nobody is going to say, well, you didn't do this today. Why not?
Exactly.
Like people just do whatever they can. I actually have one lady in my class who I think she had an ankle injury when she started her first Tai Chi class, which she didn't take with me. She took it with another instructor, but she said she took the whole class from seated.
Okay.
Yeah. And gained a lot of core stability because then
fantastic.
Your base of support is like, your torso and you're seated instead, as opposed to forming your base of support on your ankles and your feet.
Sure.
Yeah. She said she just really loved the experience.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you shared that. I wouldn't have thought of that before, but that makes complete sense. And then now she's gone on to take the class
Yeah.
seated and standing and all the other variations and to strengthen all the other muscles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So I love, hearing those things from people too. It's like, yeah, you stuck with it and did it and had a lot of benefit. So
That is wonderful. And then we just like to, as a final question, Jessica, I like to ask everyone, what is the best piece of wellness advice that you've received that you would like to share with others?
I think the best piece of wellness advice is that consistency over time creates the best results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whether your practice is an hour long or if you have 20 minutes to do something in a day, but to do something each day over a period of time is going to get you the best results. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard someone say exercise and fitness and balance. It's not like money in the bank where you can just bank 20 hours of exercise and then cash it out little by little over the years. You have to make those regular deposits, so to speak, into your health and well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with balance, because for people, like for all of us, actually, it's like if we don't use our balance and we don't challenge ourselves in that way, it kind of goes out the window.
Yeah.
No matter how old you are. Yeah, I've worked with young people and older people, and it's like sometimes young people have really poor balance too. And I think the difference as we get older is like we don't want to fall.
Yes.
Because falling hurts.
Yes.
And causes more problems. So yeah. So really taking time to especially train your balance and do something little by little all the time will be the best.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom about Tai Chi Chuan moving for better balance. It's always the most meaningful to hear from an instructor, I think. How can people get in touch with you if they'd like to learn more about your Tai Chi classes or any of the other classes that you may offer? Because as we mentioned, you're trained in yoga as well as and have other certifications that we didn't even get into today.
Yeah.
So anyway, to let people know, how can they learn more?
Yeah, people can find me on my website at rootedinwellnessduluth.com or on Facebook or Instagram at I am rooted in wellness.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I know that people can find and sign up for your upcoming Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance beginner or advanced classes on the Juniper website, your juniper.org as well. Yes. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm Rachel Bremness, and you've been listening to Live Well with Juniper. Like this podcast, support us with a donation at yourjuniper.org/donate. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't forget to share with friends. Until next time, be well.